congratulations on the show. And
Thank you.
I've watched the first 2 episodes. Brilliant.
Thank you.
I mean, admittedly, this must be like a dream job for you, having done sort of TV series before, but were you a fan of the first and second season?
Huge fan. Like a super fan. And I was always watching it going, how could I get in this show? I don't see where I fit. I don't know what part I would play. And then Chelsea came along and the audition, I was like, this could be my chance to go to the White Lotus. So yeah, it was really surreal. First experience I've had where I've been a fan of something that I've then been in, because it doesn't happen that often. So yeah, it was quite amazing.
I absolutely love Chelsea because on the outside she seems like this kind of innocent person, and she's kind of a little bit ditzy in some way, but she's probably the most profound out of all the characters. Yeah. How did you fall in love with that character straight away?
I love her so much for all of those reasons. Like, she's so underestimated. I feel like the people around her are kind of like eye roll, but actually if you listen to what she's saying, she is so profound, and she's not about ego or optics, or she's about experience. So it makes her very honest, because she just wants to have experiences in her life and adventures, and she doesn't really care about how she's perceived or like being a success in conventional ways. She just wants like love and experience, and I think that's very honest, and I think that is really profound. And even though she might get it wrong sometimes, it's like I admire that. I admire someone who lives in that way.
It feels like she's got everyone's number straight away.
Everyone's.
Do you relate to her in that way? Are you a bit like that, do you think?
I relate to Chelsea a lot. I think we're very similar, but I think it's so funny because Chelsea's got this incredible intuition. Like, you're right, she kind of knows straight away, oh, that person makes me feel, and I think I have that, but what Chelsea also has that I have, which is then she can really, even though she's so intuitive, then she can be absolutely oblivious to huge red flags. All of a sudden, her intuition is out the window. So I think that we're quite similar in that way. Very intuitive, but then can really miss things sometimes.
Thing to be sort of trusting of people sometimes. How does it work out with the script or in something like this that really is sort of around a mystery that we're trying to unpick throughout the season? Do you get to know exactly what goes on, or are you just reading your part?
So we know everything, but it was so fun reading them for the first time because I was just guessing the whole way through, and I was like, I've worked it out, I know what's going to happen, and I was wrong every time.
Oh yeah, me too. Like the first season, second season, didn't see it coming.
Yeah, so I think the third is really, there's another one of like Mike being very cheeky and being like sprinkling bits here and sprinkling bits there just to throw us off the scent.
So you filmed this in Thailand. Talk us through your experience. I mean,
it's very weird because you're living where you're filming, so there's no separation. Like, you don't get to go home. You don't wrap and go, okay, night everyone, and go to your own space. You say goodnight and then you go 2 steps to your hotel room. So it's very claustrophobic. It's beautiful and amazing, but it is kind of like Big Brother, like Truman Show kind of vibe. And after a while, it is kind of like, I want to remember who I am. I want to have my own house and my own, like, be back in my life, because it's 7 months. And it's
I was going to ask that. It's quite long.
Thailand is so beautiful, and I had some of the best times of my life, undoubtedly there. But it's difficult. It doesn't, I think I expected it to feel more like a holiday than it did. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, it's still work, and it's challenging work as well. Yeah.
Have you been back since?
No, I haven't.
Is there a temptation to? Have you really fallen in love with it, or was it too much like work?
I want to go back to Bangkok because my favourite restaurant in the world is there.
Oh wow.
It's called Jua. And it's got the coolest owner ever, and we became really good friends, and I really want to go back to that restaurant and just have a very specific meal that I had nearly every night in Bangkok.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
You worked very closely with Walton Goggins on this, and he's, again, one of my favourite actors. What was it like working so closely with him? Had you been a fan of his work before?
I mean, he's amazing. And it was, when I found out it was him, I was on the phone and it was Dave, the producer, was like, who's Rick? Who's Rick? I need to know who Rick is. And he was like, it's Walton Goggins. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so fun. And it was such an adventure. Like every day he's so carpe diem. Every day was an adventure. Didn't know what we were going to get. It was so fun. And he's just such an amazing actor. Like and it was cool seeing him in this part because it's quite different to other parts that he's played. And it was just so great to experience it with him. It was really cool.
He seems like a really troubled sort of person in this in the series. And she feels also like she's mothering him rather than anything else. How difficult was it to sort of find the right sort of balance in playing his girlfriend as well as someone who's looking after him?
Well, it's quite just doing that every day, like, because Chelsea's constantly in the mindset of like it's all about him and his comfort and Rick's things that she kind of doesn't remember to think about herself. So it's kind of freeing as an actor because you just have to put all your attention, which is what like most of acting is anyway. But I'm like, all of her attention is just Rick, which is like, as an actor, quite fun and liberating. But yeah, it's kind of like, you're like, there are points where you go, and you can't ever judge your character, you have to just be on their side. But there were points where I was like, Chelsea, please calm down. Stop mothering, you know, but I think it's very relatable. I think it's really relatable. I think lots of people end up in relationships where they're being like girlfriend, mum, like the whole...
Unfortunately.
Yeah, yes. The whole lot. So I think she's relatable in that way.
Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again. I'm hooked already. I've only seen 2 episodes so far. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!